Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 124 today and we are back to review season 14, another historic one for this football club as we really start to make strides in the English game. If you don't know what made the end of this season quite so special, then you can find the last episode up in the eye above. But here we are going to be planning ahead for a very big summer for this football team. We have come so far and we now finally have a sniff of being either Premier League or European champions with a semi-pro side from the bottom tier of English football, something I've never achieved before in Football Manager. So if you're looking forward to our big summer plans today, we'll have a little look back at the season in the end of year review, and we'll also see what we're going to do with the squad this summer. Then please do chuck a thumbs up on the video and subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. A massive thank you also for your support with the new series Rebuilding Helsingborg. You can find that playlist in the eye above if you've missed any of the action. There's also a link there to the head coach playlist, which is now of course finished, and the Twitch channel, the football podcast and the merchandise store too. You can support the show as a channel member by clicking the join button down below. And thank you to Joey, who's now 5 months in as a supporting channel member. But for us today, we're going to start with the usual, because for those of you that haven't watched the last episode, you're about to get the spoilers. Because tonight, as it is in game, we have just come back after winning the Europa League. It was a brilliant performance. It should be noted as well, though, that Linfield got to the last 16, something we'd love to have seen in some Builder Nations back in the day. But Southampton, the runners-up, maybe feel hard done by. They've been a strong side all season. Roman Meyer's got the most assists in it. Sousa's got the most goals in it. But we have got the trophy. And that is frankly all I care about. We've won a Europa League. Last season we won 2 domestic cups. The year before an FA Cup. And we are starting to build a swelling trophy cabinet here. If we go to the club info, have a look at what's been won. We have now got all 4 of those to our name, as well as League 2 in 2027, as well as the FA Trophy in the National League South the first year. But for the first time in the last 3 seasons, we're adding big trophies here. So this is a sign of real progress. We've, of course, aside from all the on-the-pitch stuff, got the biggest moment of the save coming this summer. And the reason it was so crucial that we qualified for Champions League football or Europe of some form, and the reason it's so important that we're in a good shape at the moment, is because this summer we move into our brand new stadium. It's happening in 27 days time, a 25,500 capacity stadium in Hemel Hempstead itself. We're no longer going to be paying rent. We're no longer going to be using Kenilworth Road, the old Luton Stadium. We are moving into a big one ourselves. I'm really looking forward to seeing how we get on. We have, though, got to deal with some club vision items as well, because we've got state-of-the-art training facilities now. We've got great junior coaching and youth recruitment. We know the corporate facilities will improve with the new stadium. But we still cannot get the board to upgrade these youth facilities too often. And again, the option's still not there, despite another year of doing really well. So I'm not sure what's holding them back. If it's a limit with the stadium we're in, hopefully it's something that will change when the new stadium opens. But for us, it's all about being a top Premier League side, and we're well on our way to doing that. So let's skip ahead to the end of season review, see the stars of the season, and then we're going to plan for the summer, because I think you might be surprised by a couple of my suggestions. Well, it's end of season review time. We've got another lovely shiny trophy at the bottom of the screen, this time the Europa League, and the first time a European one. But the main star of the show is arguably not anyone we signed last summer. It's the man at the top of the screen here, scored the winning goal in the Europa League final, scored so many winners on our route to get into the Premier League top 4, and the man who joined as a record signing for £38 million in January is becoming one of the best number 10s in the world very quickly. Even with little injury knocks, even without the best natural fitness, you can see from his attributes he's becoming a superstar. Mailton, not long before he'll be a Brazilian international, now worth £100 million almost. 7 goals and 6 assists in 18 starts since joining, including a winner in a final. He is a man that is going to be a star for this club. And may I just remind you here, he's got a C in terms of board expectation. The board are content with the deal. If you're only content with that deal, what more can I do to make you happy? Because that might be the best signing we've ever made in terms of a 6-month impact. And the best they can come up with is we're content with that. I don't think he can do much more, to be honest. In terms of the rest, there's been some really good signings too. Danny Harrison, been a really solid squad addition. should be a big feature as a backup player, but with the Champions League next year, he might be one of the casualties. Ignacio Jura started slowly, had a lot of injury problems, is now very quickly becoming one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's not quite there yet, and he does still have a few fitness concerns, but he is first choice now. He's that good, and he's starting to look like a real superstar. The same applies to Tyrese Ricketts, who's knocking on the door of Carlos Torres for first choice striker. Electric quick, quality in behind, scored plenty of goals this season, 19 in 20 starts, and the highest average rating throughout the Europa League season, despite being poor in the final. We then got wonder kid Luiz from Brazil, £12 million, really improving, looking pretty solid. He'll get a lot more football next year. And then a third choice keeper who never kicked a ball. In terms of transfers out, you can see where the upgrades have come. £4 million for Josh Berry, who has had a decent season at Aberdeen, nothing more than that. Thornley went to Forest for £2 million and has barely kicked a ball. McNeil for £16.75 million, having a good season at Sporting Lisbon, but I'm not really devastated to have lost him. We've not noticed that he's been missing, put it that way. Neskovic has done really well at Reading in the Championship, so fair play to him. I didn't think he was going to improve. Maya has had a strong season at Lille and looks like he's managed to stay fit for the most part. Cordes, big money move to Sheffield United. Well, he's been a bit of a flop in all honesty. And the same goes for Terry Clark at Leeds, who got a really poor average rating from his performances, but still a pretty good player technically. So we've definitely improved the squad. And when you look at someone like Terry Clark or Marco Cordes going out, and then Mailton coming in to replace them. When you see McNeil going out and Mayer coming out and Josh Berry going out, and then you see the likes of Jura coming in, the likes of Tyrese Ricketts, you start to realise, actually, we've really improved this squad. And you don't really look at it until the end of the season and say, actually, we're far stronger than we were this time last year. And maybe that's why we've gone from 6th to 4th. Let's look at the loans that are out at the moment, because there's one man here who's going to be a big feature next season. Emiliano Rojas. 2-star ability, 4.5 potential, starting to look very good. I've got a feeling he's going to be involved in the first team squad, particularly with some of my other summer plans. Let's have a look at Toby Bliss, who went out on loan to Orient. Not quite developing to the level we'd hope. There's a few youngsters who are doing pretty well elsewhere, including Gareth Jones, who scored 15 for Accrington. Let's move on to the season results where, of course, there's one standout moment. We got battered at Ajax in the Europa League. We struggled against Rijeka away from home. We almost got put out by Bilbao. But in the end, we had an easy semi-final and we had Mailton to the rescue in the final. The Premier League, we got into the top 4 for the first time. Ricker got himself 20 goals. And if it wasn't for those spells of unhappiness after the 2 transfer windows, particularly that one at the end of January, we could have been even higher up the table, maybe challenging for 2nd and 3rd. The FA Cup, really disappointing. Southampton put us out that time. We struggled to get past Peterborough in fairness. In the Carabao Cup, beaten by Brighton and Hove Albion. The Community Shield, soundly beaten by United again. But who cares? We won a trophy and we're in the Champions League. Our biggest win was a 5-1 victory against Newcastle. Ironically, a game we were behind at half-time, but one of those Mailton had an impact. The match to remember, another Mailton Super Show, a 2-0 win at home to Chelsea. And of course, goal of the season had to be him too, in the 1-0 win at home to Stoke. The finances look great. The club reputation stays 4-star. I wonder if it creeps up with the new stadium and with the European trophy. Plus Champions League football next year. I'm expecting 4.5. But really good signs. Mailton, one of the top shirt sellers, and all of the big 5 are going to be here next year. Let's see the best 11 according to the media. It is Coronel ahead of Moreira, Jura's in instead of Striker, and Ricketts in instead of Torres. It's harsh on German Moreira. The rest of it I'm completely on board with. Let's have a look at the accolades, because we have got Manager of the Month for April. Don't think we'll win Manager of the Year. Ricker, 3 goals in a match. Is that the most we've ever achieved? I'm not sure of it. Egan continues to improve his record appearances, and Mailton is the record transfer, but well worth it already as he's won us a European trophy. Top scorer Ricker, top assist Coronel. Just a brilliant season. Absolutely fantastic. And the history in the making page sums it up. We win the Europa League. In a semi-final, we won by 5-1 at home. And despite those little frustrations, particularly with the cups and with the transfer windows, we've managed to come out with a really positive outcome and a trophy. And that's all I can ask for. So we'll finish that. We'll look ahead to the club vision. Where do they want us to be next season? We are expected to be top half, followed by Europa League the next season, and we're supposed to reach the last 16 of the Champions League. So they're expecting us to get out the group. I hope our coefficient has been moving up. Has anyone been inducted into the Hall of Fame? It is Torres, Moreira, Jose and Striker. So we've got Ricker and Jones up front. Torres is in as number 10 now. How long before Mailton breaks into there? But we're starting to see a changing of the guard. Just Albi Armin and Cole Kopekwa surviving from those earlier years. Kopekwa's the only non-league player left, and we forget how good he was. I absolutely loved him. What I'd do to have someone at left centre-half now who could perform like him is probably the only thing we're really missing in this team, ironically, isn't it? Callum Hazeman still on the substitutes bench for them. He scored against us for Peterborough in the FA Cup, don't forget. But so many lovely memories, but new history is being made now. So the club vision and expectations we're happy with. The end of season team meeting we'll do in a moment. And do I want to spend lots of money on a pre-season tour? I've not got a choice now. They're forcing me into a commercial one. So we'll go to the USA this time. Salvador, who we were looking at in the last episode, has rejected us. He's now going off to Sheffield United because he wanted more than 40 grand a week. I tried to offer him on the verge of that, but he chose to turn us down. League 2, Young Player of the Month is Ian Watts, who's been out on loan at Bromley. He kept them up, he scored 13 goals, but he's not really developed off the pitch attribute-wise. And Ricketts wins the Europa League Player of the Season, so we need to give a big congratulations to him. Any other players in the Team of the Year? Both Peebles and Jura have made it. For now, though, we need to have a look at the squad, because this is a very big summer for the football club. We've got to start being a bit more cutthroat at this point, but we've also got to balance that out with development, because with Scott Egan throwing his toys out the pram, we need to get to a position now where we can promote players from the under-18s and make a pathway for homegrown players at the club. We also, though, need to get more and more competitive, and at the moment there are some issues with that. We know David Peebles is coming in, solves one problem straight off the bat. But looking at other areas of the team, we have to be realistic with ourselves. Even if it only happens once in a blue moon, can we afford to have a keeper of that standard as our third choice? Probably not. Even though he's a very good player, is Danny Harrison a Champions League standard striker? Probably not. Is that okay for fourth choice, or do we need to think about developing? Arthur Ndu, 29 years of age, wants a new contract on 100 grand a week, which would be our highest paid player. He's one of the weaker players in the starting 11 now, and we only play with one of the two positions he's natural in. Is he someone we can continue to keep at the club if we're getting offers of 50, 60 million? Can we hold back Coronel? Can we hold back Rojas when he comes back from injury? Or do we have to let him go? Carlos Martin, we bought him in for 30 million 18 months ago. Mailton's a big upgrade to him. Can we afford to keep someone who's injury prone at the club on 68 grand a week when we really need to have strength in depth? This isn't any more about what it has been the last 2 years, where we've got a Premier League team and then a team of good players that can play the Europa League group stages, the early Carabao Cup rounds. We're going to be playing midweeks in the Champions League, weekends in the Premier League. We need two squads of players that are basically top 6 Premier League level to consistently compete. And that means for some of those older squad players, like Shane Leacock at 26, we have to say, are you going to be able to take us on to the next level? Are you going to be a long-term part of our future? Jovan, you're 22. You're not fulfilling that wonder kid potential you had. Are you going to be good enough to be a centre-half at this club? Are you going to be able to play if we get 2 injuries and hold your own in a Champions League match away at the San Siro or at the Bernabeu? Probably not. So this is where we have to start being ruthless, but without making too many changes at once. We saw a couple of years ago, the summer we were forced to bring in 9 or 10 players for our first European season. We did get held back for the first 3 or 4 months of the year because we just didn't have a settled squad. So I don't want to do all of this work at once. But what I've got to decide is which 2 or 3 are going to be my priorities this year. And that's where you guys are going to help me, hopefully, down in the comments. I mean, we've all had the discussion for the last year. We know centre-half is our number 1 priority. For me, I'm happy if Jovan goes. Striker is a good backup centre-half. Jura is good enough to rotate. And of course, we've got Hannafan, who's a starter for us. But we need someone to go alongside him. Ideally, a natural left-sider. So we can get the performances we did from Cole Kopekwa, that we did when we were in League 1 and 2 with other players. And we can start to fulfil that in the Premier League. 'Cause it's the one role we've never really got sorted or tied down here. I'm then looking up front and saying, do we give Tyrese Ricketts a year as first choice to really develop? Because he's only 21 and he's got massive potential. Or do we have him and Torres as the best backup duo in the world and go for Rickett and another superstar of his quality? Where we find one, I don't know. But if the opportunity comes up, do we say no to it? Probably not. And then the biggest deal for me where there might be turnover is actually midfield, because Scott Egan is forcing his way out the club. Arthur Ndu at 29, either this year or next year will be going, because I don't want to give him a new big contract. He's not even one of the stars in the team now. He's no stronger than Coronel. We've got strength in depth there with De Vita coming through, with Leacock as well, with Arlan who could push into the middle. So do we then sign a big holding midfielder, push Arlan up? There are plenty of possibilities on that front. We've also got to consider Carlos Martin, who is injury prone, who's really struggled to get going consistently, shows glimmers and then just fades away again for a few months. And there's some big money interest in him from Stoke, from West Ham. If we get 50 or 55 million, I probably can't turn that down. We have got Rojas coming back from his loan. David Wilson in the under-19s is developing so well, starting to look like he's going to make it at Premier League level. But he's nowhere near at the moment, so it might end up being a loan season for him next year. What that means then is we're going to need superstars, because yes, Arlan's probably good enough to start. We know that Moreira and Mailton are, but who's going to be that fourth? At least with Arlan it can be a holding mid or a centre mid, but I feel like that's where our second star comes. So my priorities for the summer: better third choice keeper, star centre half if we can find one, and a holding or centre midfielder to potentially replace Arthur Ndu, though I'm happy to delay that 1 year if need be. I'm also very mindful of the fact that if a top quality striker on the level of Ricker becomes available, then maybe we drop everything and just get that, because it can make the difference of an extra 15 goals a year. And Ricker is our superstar. Are we going to get someone trying to pry him away again? Can we hold on to him after what happened last time? I mean, his goal rate is just over 1 in 2 in the league. It's ridiculous, really. And I don't want to lose him, because as we've mentioned before, if we are to achieve that objective of reaching the Premier League or Champions League trophy, we have to keep our best players here, and he's certainly the best one of them all, and with the best personality too. We've thankfully got the main must-fix area sorted out, which is David Peebles at left-back. He's going to come in and be a solid squad option as needed, and it is hard to find good backup fullbacks, so I'm happy with him. But where else do we improve? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you think we need to think about anything else? Or are the ones I'm suggesting probably the priorities? I think most of us are agreed on centre-half. But what do you think of my midfield suggestions? Is it the time, or should we wait another year before replacing them? I'll be very interested to get your thoughts on that. Of course, it's probably going to be a slightly more active and high-profile summer transfer window than before, mainly because there will be a few big names leaving. If you're looking forward to seeing how it goes, though, and what we're going to have on our books when we come back for the first game of the next season, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you thought of the year and whether we can win the Premier League or Champions League before the end of the save. Of course, no Community Shield next season, as we didn't win the League or Domestic Cup. We have got Champions League football. We're going to have the European Super Cup, don't forget. A chance at another new trophy and a big Premier League season to come. The squad's going to need bolstering. If you're looking forward to finding out what we do, then subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. The Helsingborg save is flying now. We're going into our second year. You can find that playlist up in the eye above, as well as the head coach one, the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the merchandise store too. But I'll put yesterday's Helsingborg video above my head now as we move into the second season there. It's been a very busy summer in that one too. We'll have the same here in a couple of days' time, and I hope you'll come and join me here for it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.